Hello everyone, welcome back to the 5 Minute Tech channel. Today we'll be talking about async versus sync. This particular video is targeted towards deciding between asynchronous and synchronous use case in the programming that we do. So it's important first to understand what is synchronous programming. It's the normal way of writing the functions or methods. Synchronicity in program means execution of operation is done sequentially, and operation will only be executed after a previous one is done. So potentially a complex task may take while and it may delay the execution of subsequent tasks. And also in programming or technical terms, synchronous calls are done in a single thread, and every operation being executed blocks that thread for execution duration. So it has to wait for it to complete and then it proceeds to the next step. Whereas asynchronous programming means it's done in parallel. Tasks that are not dependent on others can be offloaded and executed at the same time as the main operation and then report back the result to the main thread. So that's a difference between synchronous and asynchronous programming. Overview of the asynchronous model, programming model is the core of asynchronous programming is the task and the task of type T object which model asynchronous operations. They are supported by async and await keywords, and the model is fairly simple in most cases related to the input-output operations or the CPU bound code. So an example of IO bound call that we do is as below. So if you see, we have HTTP client, a button is clicked and it fetches the data from a designated URL, and then data is used to certain operations. So this is like an input-output operation. Similarly, CPU bound operation example is performing a calculation for a game or something like when it is clicked, you do a task.run and you do a calculation, a substantial amount of calculation is done and then the result is displayed. Now, how to decide between async and sync, when to use what? I'll be showing you a code simulation wherein we'll talk about at length. So as you see here, this is a simple C# code, a C# console app .NET core, and it has a single program.cs. For the performance analysis, I'll be showcasing using benchmarkdotnet, and so the benchmarkdotnet helps us analyze each of the functions on the performance and gives us a result. So in this example, there is a simple class and it has an object of HTTP client. The HTTP client takes a URL which is a simple website. It iterates through the string of that website and tries to find the count of .NET in that website content, HTML content. So that is what whole function is there. We have written it two ways: async await, with async await and the task, and a normal synchronous method which does is just gets the count and returns the int value. First of all, we will run the example for both the operations sync and async, and then we will run the benchmark to observe the behavior, how it is behaving. So let's first run a debug mode and see the result is coming same or not. So as you see, both of these methods are returning the same value, 16 and 16, and now we will be running the benchmark to see the performance of these methods. For checking the performance, we will have to run it in the release mode. So let's put the release mode and then run this. So the execution is completed now, and as you see, the results are like this. The async method took a mean of 73.26 milliseconds and it took a memory of 119.72. Whereas the sync method, which is 99.16, took more time and also its memory allocation was more. So the result is this is more preferred. The asynchronous method was more preferred over the synchronous method. So if you do, so how to decide between async and sync? Whenever you have an IO operation or a heavy computation operation, and that also is chained together, you better go with the task async await, so that your performance will be better in your code. So that, hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.